Oh, coming up right now, a record-breaking Christmas lights display is being called a nuisance by some neighbors. Come on, people, it's Christmas!
Also coming up, a New Yorker adorns his apartment with 12 trees and 13,000 lights. He claims that Christmas is not a day, it's a frame of mind.
And later, two former network anchors are spending their first Christmas together as a couple, but guess what? So are their exes. We'll explain.
Daily Flash Christmas edition starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I am Mitch English, welcoming you to Daily Flash. It's a Christmas edition. We do it in the kitchen. It's our little tradition here. Matt Doolittle joins us as well. Matt, you got any Christmas traditions you do?
You know, every year my dad and I would go outside and clean up after the reindeer, from the night before. People gave us some odd looks. It smelled like sugar plums, so it wasn't horrible, but
really?
it was a tradition.
He feeds them well, apparently.
Yes,
so.
he does.
I have to tell you, this is probably going to be the most comfortable I'll ever be year-round doing
That
this
is
show.
the most Mitch English thing I have ever seen in my entire
This is
life.
Terrific,
You heard me
friend.
talking about this.
I love the way
Don't you
it
just
feels.
want to? Yeah, you
I
just
do.
want to pet it.
I'm just petting Mitch throughout the whole show.
It is. It's just comfortable. You could sleep, and I don't know why we just, as Americans, as human beings, we don't just wear stuff like this. all the
We're
time.
close. We're getting there. We're getting to
And
that
then
point.
You can do that. You can do rap songs real quick too. So.
All the time.
I like that.
Hey, so the 15 worst Christmas gifts have made the list.
Okay.
Are you ready? Do you have
Yes.
any guesses?
Socks.
Socks?
Underwear as usual.
Yeah, underwear. Underwear
always
probably
up
is
there.
worse than
Okay.
socks. Yeah.
Number one on the list: clothes that don't fit.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Deodorant. Who says that?
I remember getting deodorant as a
Okay.
kid. But when you're 12 and 13, you actually really, really, really need it. I remember that.
Towels.
Yeah, why would you need to? Yeah, towels shouldn't be a present. I agree.
They should. Yeah, they should be.
They
it's
should just
weird.
appear no matter
They
what.
should.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Out of date food.
That's just
Expired
mean,
food.
man.
Where are you going to get that and be like, hey, here's an
Well, I
expired
bought
thing.
it back in June.
Yeah.
Exercise equipment, vacuum cleaners made the list, and of course, toothbrush and a broken mug.
Okay. Well, now, if the wife asks for a vacuum cleaner for Christmas, you get her one. I got her one. And it's more like a family present, but I didn't count that towards it. She goes, this is my Christmas gift, along with the hairdryer.
The
I think.
hairdryer.
My dad always
Yeah.
taught me clothes were a bad idea to get my mom.
For women? Oh, yeah.
women,
Women
'cause
are
he
my
was
like-
shit.
she'd be
no.
like, well,
Yeah.
what do you think?
That's a tough one.
I'm not, sure you're a small.
Yeah.
Okay, I had to get small because you said you were small, so keep that in mind. All right, that might bother you, and I can't believe anybody would hate Christmas lights, but now a New York family in the Guinness Book World Record books for the most lights on a home, and they just revealed that this year's Christmas display is their biggest yet, but a lot of their neighbors, they're not happy about it. The latest holiday display features more than 720,000 lights. Neighbors are not seeing the joy or feeling the light. They're just feeling the light, like lots of it. They say the lights actually attract long lines of cars and people who trample through their yards and leave trash behind. Law enforcement has also expressed concern about getting access to the homes on that same street in case of an emergency. Well, as of now, there are no laws on the books that prevent the family from putting up the giant light display. It seems like if you want to do something good, and I think you were telling me about one of these where you have to pay to go see it, and
Yes.
that money will go to a charity.
Yeah.
And I think that will kind of block, if you really want to see them, maybe $1, $2 or something like that, you can come through there, and maybe that would hold back from people from trampling through their
Well, here's an
yards.
interesting thing. We went to go see it's called the Johansson Family Lights, and you can go to their house and they start decorating in July. This year it was almost 1 million lights that they put up. So they have a front display, and then if you want to, you can pay the extra money to go and tour the backyard. The backyard, you got to go check out.
Okay.
But yes, that money goes to help charities, and it
Love
goes
that
to help
idea.
them kind of maintain the display. But this year they had police blocking off the road, and you had to park off-site, and then you're forced to walk down the street, which it's no problem. But you can imagine the neighbors finally said, no more, we can't take it. Too many cars, and then it's at the end of a cul-de-sac.
Oh, it
so
takes
as you
even
can
longer.
imagine,
Filter everything
it
in
would
and-
just be
yeah.
a nightmare for people trying to turn around, because all they want to do is drive by, right? So they
Now,
gotta
I've
figure it out.
heard of like neighborhoods where neighbors will get involved too.
Yes.
And that's kind of fun
Yeah.
because then they go, well, they're coming to see my lights as well. But if you're that one family that doesn't want to get involved,
the one.
The one that I know of that's around here in Central Florida, they put a box out front, but they're just blunt about it. They're like, the power bill on this is expensive, so please throw us a
Give
few
us
bucks.
some
Yeah.
money. And then I think you shouldn't do it. I mean, if you're, I know there's a lot of joy you want to bring to people, but if it's putting you out, you have to keep that in mind. Are you really doing a good thing if you're not able to pay your bills? So keep that in mind.
Well, some say you can always go home for the holidays, right? And some say that it's actually taking it a step further, and it can be a frame of mind. Well, many believe if Christmas cheer were a competition, Frankie Christmas Bianco would be a contender for the gold medal. He once again transformed his one-bedroom apartment in New York into a dazzling shrine to the season. He maintains the decorations for 8 straight months, and this year he outdid himself. He put up 12 Christmas trees and decorated them with more than 13,000 bulbs. Frankie says he spends about 200 hours putting it up and then takes everything down in May.
That's an involved tattoo.
Yes.
That involves, he loves Christmas, and I love that.
He's
seems
committed.
like this is his thing that he wants to do. I don't think you can do a tour of your apartment,
No.
but maybe you can now online.
Thanks to social media, right?
I love that idea. All right. Former Good Morning America anchors Amy Robach and TJ Holmes are in the news again, and it's not because this is their first Christmas together as a couple. They also started a podcast. It's now, this time they're in the news because their exes are the ones that making the headline. Andrew Shue and Marilee Feinberg are now dating. They're the exes. The two likely bonded over their shared experience of finding out that their spouses were cheating on them. Robach and Holmes were outed back in November 2022 when photos of their affair surfaced. A month later, they were both taken off the air at ABC, later let go from the network. During the past year, the twosome have been more public about their romance. They now host that podcast together, and most recently hit the red carpet for the Jingle Ball 2023 and the fancy wedding as well in the Hamptons. So I think if the exes are doing it, they're like, well, maybe we can get in on it as well. And do you think that's a solid relationship because you know what I'm saying? You bonded together because your exes cheated on you?
Yes, because you
think
get
it
to,
is?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, you're basically bonding over rejection,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know how healthy that is.
Because you've got to feel like, well, I was cheated on
Right.
before, and you're both feeling that way, but then you're both feeling that way, so you feel like the other person's going to do it. I would
And
think.
it was such a public
thing.
thing going on, and it
Yeah.
distracted. I mean, I don't know if you heard Howard Stern went off on them for an hour the other
is
day
that
about
right?
like, no one cares.
True,
We
they
get it.
don't.
Like,
yeah.
now you have a podcast when you had one of those nice corporate ABC jobs making millions a year, and now you have a podcast, and then now your exes are going, yeah, let's get together. But they have a picture of their exes like hanging out a couple years ago too.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
maybe this all started much earlier than we all expected.
I don't, hey, look, God bless them. Hopefully it'll work out. They have a lot of odds against them, I guess is what
Yes,
I'm saying. But,
yes.
if they wind having that common mutuality that is going to help them become
Yeah.
better than as a stronger couple, then God bless them.
And maybe they are with the right person after all. Maybe that's who they were meant to be with.
Let me tell you this much. I've known Jackson for 20 years, and this is the first time I've seen her in pajamas next to me, all right? So
Can I tell you
we
how
can just
weird
leave it
I
at that,
feel?
right?
I feel so awkward at DJ's. I'm leaving the house. I can't even tell you.
Hey, before we head to break, here are the Disney Dickens singers with a classic song. Check it out.
Here they come with a happy song. Here they come, let's all sing along. Oh, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey! Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Hee-hee-ho-ho, bells on bobtail ring. Making spirits bright. What fun it is to laugh and sing a sleighing song tonight. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey! Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Hey, everybody, we definitely hope that you are having a great morning, and hopefully you're relaxing with a hot beverage today.
Oh boy,
Yep.
we do. Here in the Daily Flash kitchen, we are making an affogato, which
Affogato.
is an Italian espresso drink made with just 2 ingredients, espresso or strong coffee, and then you add vanilla, gelato, or ice cream.
There's not many things in this world that bother me, but do you know what one thing is that extremely bothers me?
And when people say espresso,
High five, girl. I cannot stand.
there's no X.
There's no X in espresso. And so much so when I go there, I'll say it on purpose. I'll say, "Can I have an espresso, please?" It drives me crazy. That especially. But anyway, you got a great recipe here because this is actually one that follows an Instagram video of a famous gelato shop in Italy. They're making one. This is them. You can say they have. It's artful when they do
they're
this
fancy.
sort of thing.
Yeah. So they use the full-on espresso, which is something that you can do at home if you have an espresso machine, or you can just use really strong coffee. And they pack in the vanilla ice cream in the cup there. So we're going to do our own version of it here. We've got a French press, which makes terrific coffee. These are very inexpensive, and if you want to get one, this is a perfect way to have a cup of coffee. There you go.
nice.
So you just plunge it down slowly, Mitch.
Okay.
And then what it does is it filters the coffee grounds through the press, and you
I
get
see it
a
now.
wonderful. Yep, you get a wonderful coffee.
I know your
So in
ADHD
the-
brain wants to just shove that thing.
Yes,
I
it does
know.
totally.
So in the process, I'm gonna just scoop 1 scoop of ice cream here for each of us.
The thing about espresso too is, because we're Americans, we want like supersize everything.
Oh, I know.
Espressos are always small, right?
Yes,
So,
always.
So always keep that in mind too. So this is going to make a drink, so that ice cream's really going to pop out.
Yeah.
And this is how do I know? Just go all the way to the bottom.
Yep, all the
till
way
it's
to the
done?
bottom.
Okay.
And you should be. You're pretty close.
Oh, look at it.
Oops,
Yeah.
sorry.
It's all
This
packed.
one's a
Okay.
little
Now
bit
it's
messy.
ready to be poured.
Okay. Now it's ready to be poured. So what you do is.
And do you have to use a gelato, or can you just use regular?
You can use
ice?
regular vanilla ice cream. You don't have to use gelato. Gelato's easier to pack because it's a little bit more dense, so that helps. And then what you can do, sorry, I got this one a little bit messy. I'll have this one. But then you just pour
Jackson, always the host.
a little coffee.
Hostess.
I don't do too much. I just do a little. It's like having a wonderful, rich cup of coffee because you've got the vanilla ice cream.
It just looks pretty
And
too.
then what you can do is serve it with cookies or a biscotti. That's traditional for Italian. Matt, here you go.
Thank you.
And then you eat it like you're eating ice cream.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. With the spoon.
Yeah,
So-
with a spoon. And then what you can do is you can also, you can mix it and let it melt and then just drink it. And then it ends up kind of being like a coffee shake. But this should be pretty darn good.
It looks to me like it's a root beer float.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing I think of when I say.
That's good.
It is good, right? Just 2 simple ingredients, and then if you've got a biscotti, you can dip it in there. We've got some Christmas cookies. That's a wonderful thing to do. So,
And even though that was really hot, obviously the ice cream cools it down really
yeah,
good. So
and so it's a perfect like little after dinner dessert. So,
here's the thing: your kids are gonna go, "Oh, it's like an ice cream float. I want one."
right. Do you know those?
You get one to your kid.
on
Get an
Christmas morning.
espresso to
Yeah.
your kid.
Exactly. Woo! It's like those candies. What are they called? Coffee nips. Did you ever have those? Like the coffee toffee stuff?
Yes, I did.
That's kind of what it tastes like at home for you who are thinking about making it. But super easy. Nice strong coffee or an espresso. Scoop of ice cream. You can even top it with some chocolate
let's
sauce.
throw a little
if
on
you
top of
want. You
it.
want a
All
little
right, so
chocolate
when y'all, was there any like Christmas morning traditions, things that you had to have? In my family, we had pancakes every, and we all were wearing our Christmas pajamas.
Yeah,
and then
how
we
about
had
you,
It was
Matt?
the pajamas, and usually it was my dad with a strong cup of coffee because
Yeah.
he tore one up on Christmas Eve. That was his one night to let loose every year.
Okay, very
And-
good.
What about
So-
you, Jackson?
We would always open gifts on Christmas Eve. That was our big thing, our big tradition.
Oh, all of them?
All of them. All
Oh,
of them. on
really?
Christmas
We used to do one.
Oh,
got
really?
one.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then, yeah, you get to
we
pick
did. I guess, well, I should say the older we got, we just resorted to Christmas Eve.
Makes sense.
But, when we were younger, Christmas Day was the big day. Cookies were always left out for Santa. That was a big
Should
tradition.
he appreciates it?
Yes, of course. And then we had cinnamon rolls. That was my mom would make these cinnamon roll
we did
things.
that one year.
It's funny as Santa always ate every single cookie we left out for
Every
him.
single one.
Every single year. He never left anything to waste. It was all gone.
Now, what about the Christmas meal? Did you guys have specific favorites for a Christmas meal?
We would eventually, what would happen, like, because I love to cook, we'd have a ham, right? We'd have a Christmas ham and a Thanksgiving turkey, but a Christmas ham. But we tried to do it, and the kids would all want to be playing with their toys all day, and so, they didn't want to have dinner, and they ate cookies and all the crap, so we just gave up on that.
It was always a prime rib meal at my uncle's house. So he would have it cooked up and with baked potato and a whole spread. So that's
Nice.
always
We
the thing.
knew it was Christmas when the parole officer would show up and say, "Hey, make sure you're still in town." And that's how I knew that, Christmas truly is here.
Your sensor was going off.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they figured out. They were like, "What are you doing home?"
My mom one year decided she would try something different, which, again, something you should not do on Christmas Day. She decided instead of doing a ham or a turkey, we'll do a Christmas goose.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
It was, I mean, maybe it wasn't prepared properly, but it was the worst thing ever.
Okay.
It was so dry and terrible.
And it looked like a goose, right? I mean, like sometimes you eat chicken,
Oh,
you
did
can
it
kind of
still
make
have the neck and
Don't they
everything
keep
and
the
all
neck
the-
on it?
They do, but then you have to cut.
You
cut-
will have
yeah,
to do that.
Yeah.
And so she went
Yeah,
all
she went all
natural.
in.
So
Yeah.
it's literally like that scene from A Christmas
Yeah,
Story,
pretty much,
where
yeah.
they come out
Uh-huh.
and make with the chop.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I don't know about this.
That was something that was always on a loop too.
The Christmas Story, yes.
Now we do, and I've been trying to do it. Now all my kids are out in Oklahoma. I'm trying to do with my new family is we always go to a Chinese restaurant on
Yep.
Christmas Day. We would always do that, and you'd be
Nice.
surprised about how many are open.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're surprised how many are closed too, because it's becoming a bigger and bigger tradition.
I think you should have to do that once in your life
I
because
think
it's
so.
super fun. I
It is
remember in
fun.
college we did that. We were all working at a restaurant, going to college, and we're like, hey, let's get together. Let's go have Christmas. So we went to the Hong Kong restaurant for.
In our first in San Diego, it's probably the same one.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a great tradition to be able to do because your kids look forward to it, and my
Yeah.
kids, none of them like Chinese food, and I make them sit there. I go, this is for me, all right?
So it's your gift to you.
Yeah, it's my gift to me. I put up. You guys are going to sit around the Chinese restaurant.
So we'll have this recipe for the affogato,
Very simple.
delicious espresso ice cream dessert on our website, dailyflashshow.com. So a big Merry Christmas to all of you guys.
Merry Christmas. And,
Cheers.
and we're going to be making going a little Latin a little bit later on this show with another great treat. We'll have Jessica in the Daily Flash kitchen. Stick around.
In this holiday edition of Daily Flash, we thought we would dive into some history about the ultimate boss lady. You know the one behind Santa, Mrs. Claus. Here's Kelly Chase from History Detective with more.
Hi, I'm Kelly Chase and this is History Detective, and today I'm going to investigate one of the most famous unsung women of Christmas legend. Now, normally I don't like to define a woman by her famous husband, but in this case it's a little bit difficult because her husband is one of the most famous chaps of all time. I'm talking about the wife of the legendary beloved Santa, Mrs. Claus. What I want to know is, when did she first appear? How much work does she do in the whole Christmas giving operation? And how does she feel about her husband's massive perpetual job as a chimney hopping gift dropper? Does she carry the mental load of this entire operation? Let's dive into the sources and see what we can find out about this unsung heroine who barely has a consistent first name. Although Santa Claus is a character based on a 4th century saint called St. Nicholas, the first time that there's ever a reference to Santa having a wife is not until more than 1,000 years later in an 1848 short story called The Christmas Legend by a writer called James Rees. In the story, 2 elderly strangers, who turn out to be Mr. and Mrs. Claus, seek shelter at a house on a long journey. After Mrs. Claus asks some questions, they find out that one of their daughters had died. The next morning, they wake to find a house full of Christmas presents. By 1878, in a kid's book called Lil's Travels in Santa Claus Land and Other Stories, Mrs. Claus had picked up the administration work of the North Pole present distribution machine. She was in charge of the naughty and nice list. Here's a little extract from the book. There was a lady sitting by a golden desk, writing in a large book, and Santa Claus was looking through a great telescope, and every once in a while he stopped and put his ear to a large speaking tube. While I was resting, he went on with his observations. Presently, he said to the lady, "Put down a good mark for Sarah Buttermilk. I see she is trying to conquer her quick temper. 2 bad ones for Isaac Clappertongue. He'll drive his mother to the insane asylum yet. Bad ones all round for the Crossley children. They quarrel too much. A good one for Harry and Alice Pleasure. They are quick to mind. And give Ruth Olive 10, for she is a peacemaker." From here, Mrs. Claus appears in Christmas pop culture in a variety of iterations. But the one thing she's never really nailed down is having a first name. In the 1970s film Santa Claus is Coming to Town, she was called Jessica and she was a school teacher. Then in a 1985 movie she was Anya. By 2011, Margaret, and some people claim that her name is actually Holly, Mary or Carol. Maybe. All of these references are actually to different women, and Santa has been married at least 7 times. This could also explain why every time she is depicted in pop culture, she looks completely different. Perhaps one of my favourite depictions of Mrs. Claus is a poem published in the Adelaide Observer in 1884 called Mrs. Santa Claus Asserts Herself. The poem was written in the voice of Mrs. Claus, and she does acknowledge that she loves her husband, the jolly old soul, but she goes on to explain what a difficult time she has being his wife. She outlines how she worries about him with his stout frame, getting stuck in chimneys and burned by the fires at the bottom, and goes into the bouts of bronchitis that she has to nurse him through due to the exposure to cold on his sleigh. But more importantly, she explains all of the work that she does to make the toys. While I, poor old crone, sit and cower alone, tight clasping the fingers I've worked to the bone, with a nod and a blink, he would lead you to think he had dressed all the dolls ere a weasel could wink. No, while he's in bed, to his shame be it said, it is I who am plying the needle and thread. He goes shopping so grand through the length of the land, but all matters of tastefulness fall to my hand. Mrs. Claus, whatever your name may be, Holly, Mary, Carol, Jessica, Anya, Margaret or Ruth, please know that I see you and the burden of the mental load that you bear during this festive season, while the jolly bearded bespectacled man takes all the credit. Speaking of women and Christmas, I have just released my first book. It is called History, Her Story, Our Story, and it would make the perfect gift for any lover of history. Merry Christmas to all. This is Kelly Chase on The Case.
So do you know a boss lady? Let us know about her. Drop me an email at Andrea@dailyflashshow.com. Let us know what makes her the ultimate boss lady and why. As you can see, Mrs. Claus is the ultimate boss lady this time of year, considering how much she does for Santa. And of course, she's got to be ready for him once he gets home from that long night. Well, there is much more trending news and entertainment headed your way on this Christmas day right here on Daily Flash. Coming up, we're going to check in with Jessica Reyes, and she is going to make us a Coquito, a classic Puerto Rican drink. She'll be right here in the kitchen. Stay with us. We're back right after this.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Merry Christmas, everybody. I am Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson. And
I'm Matt Doolittle.
Hey.
Merry Christmas.
Oh.
And we are, of course, on Christmas Day, hanging out in the Daily Flash kitchen all morning long. I was looking over some trivia and some facts about Christmas. We can thank Prince Albert, actually, for our Christmas tree.
Really? How so?
So back in 1848, he gave his wife, Queen Victoria of England, a tree at Christmas time, and they were like, that's cool, we'll do it. You know, and then everybody
Then it just took off like that?
Just took off, yeah. So
How romantic. Here, darling, here's a tree.
here's a tree, you can put presents underneath it. So, and then he went off into a can somewhere, and Prince Albert in a
The
can.
Prince Albert, they can't.
I think that's okay.
The rolled tobacco? Yeah.
Yeah, he's rolled up tobacco afterwards. The guy was in basically a can his entire life. So there you go, a little trivia there. Our Christmas tree, we get, normally we chop down. This year we went to just one of the lots and
did.
got our, it was still fun though.
Yeah.
You pick it out.
How about you,
We
Matt?
had a plastic one forever, and I hated it. Because every year, it was one of those where every strand went in by itself, and you had to pull the branches
yeah.
out.
You had to
by
make
the end
it
of I'm
look
like,
right.
I hate this thing.
Yeah, yeah.
We finally threw it out.
You did. We did that. We've done the natural tree, which is great, but it can be messy. There's pros and cons to both, right?
100%, yeah.
And then a few years ago, I found a smoking deal on a big tree at Home Depot, and that's been our go-to tree. It's tough to store because it's so big.
When you put those things in, like you were talking about, were they colored at the end? Like,
Yes.
okay, but after years and years, that paint at the bottom of it always messed up, and you didn't know which one
Yeah.
it is. You're like, but you can tell the length of it. That's about it, right?
Your hands were always dry at the end, and I would have to do most of the work because by the top, my mom couldn't do it because my dad would be at work, so I'd have to do all the. I hated that.
Yeah, on the ladder. So no more fake trees from that. Okay.
But if you are gathered around the Christmas tree and with the TV, we're going to set you up with a good day for sure to get you going.
A New York family is in the Guinness World Record books for the most lights on a home, and they just revealed that this year's Christmas display is their biggest yet, but many of their neighbors are not amused. The latest holiday display features more than 720,000 lights. However, some neighbors are not seeing the joy or feeling the light. They say the lights attract long lines of cars and people who trample through yards and leave trash behind. Law enforcement has also expressed concern about getting access to the homes on the street in case of an emergency with all the traffic. As of now, there are no laws on the books that prevent the family from putting up their giant light display.
And it's sad because you want to celebrate, but if you're causing a disturbance, then you're not really being neighborly, and it's taken away from the whole spirit of everything at the same time.
Yes, we've gone to a couple of really beautiful house light displays here in Central Florida, and one is just, the traffic is insane, and people are jam-packing 2 streets and then down one, and it's a small residential neighborhood.
Right.
Well, do you guys remember the Osborne family
Yes.
spectacle of lights where they finally had to give it up and just be like, Disney, here. Now it's an entire theme park area.
It's that many lights.
We had a guy in our neighborhood that did all that, and it is annoying. It clogs up the area, and you're like, who are all these people? Get out of my yard. Like, especially this time of year with all the Amazon packages you're going to have out front. You're going to have a bunch of strangers roaming through.
So what happened to those lights?
Well, they got rid of them. They turned that area into the Star Wars area, but Disney bought them all, and then the Osborne family was part of putting it together.
Yeah.
But they don't do it anymore.
Actually, one light bulb went out.
Yeah, the whole strand.
It used to be that way, y'all.
We went to the last season of that, and it was amazing. But I just always wondered, like, where did all those lights go? Where do they store all that stuff?
It's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
City of Lights, maybe Paris. I don't know.
Maybe.
All right, anyway, some say you can always go home for the holidays, but one man says that you can actually take a little one step further. He says Christmas is actually a frame of mind and a way of life. And many believe that if Christmas cheer were a competition, Frankie Christmas Bianco would be a contender for the gold medal. He has once again transformed his one-bedroom apartment into a New York, into a dazzling shrine to the season. He maintains the decoration 8 months out of the year.
Wow!
And he pretty much outdid himself this year. He put up 12 Christmas trees and decorated them with 13,000 lights. Frankie says that he spends about 200 hours putting them up, and then he has to take them down in May because it's just a full-time job to do that.
Only to unpack them a couple months later and start the process all over again.
You really have to love Christmas in order to do that. And then your electric bill.
That power bill looks expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm more worried about.
He's committed to Christmas because of the tattoo on his
It
back.
has to. If you have a tattoo, you got to do that for sure. All right, we are going to have Jess from Daily Flash Latino in the kitchen to tell us a little bit about, a Coquito and what it's all about this holiday season. Stick around.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. Here's Jessica Reyes with Trending with Jess.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. Look who is here. Jessica Reyes. She's here. She's going to tell us what's trending, especially for the holiday season. You got something that we need to know about.
Yes. Oh my God. So have you guys ever heard of Coquito?
Coquito.
I've heard of it, but I've never had it.
Coquito, I know, and that's the funny thing because a lot of people, they've had it, they've tried it, and they don't even know what's in it. You guys are so trusting of us Latinos, and I love that.
You know what? Y'all seem to have a good time all the time.
That's
so
exactly.
whatever it is.
Latino, you always have good times, and this is a Latino classic, right?
It's basically like a Puerto Rican style eggnog.
Oh.
I mean, that's the best description of it.
Okay.
Just, it'll get you a little more drunk. And I know it's
Faster?
early, but it's
That's why we
Christmas.
trust you.
So we're gonna go in with the ingredients.
Matt's like, I'm here. Let's
Yeah,
go.
so here's what you're gonna need.
Okay.
It's super simple because you don't need that many ingredients. Evaporated milk, leche, does anyone know how to say leche de coco?
3 milk.
Leche de coco.
Leche de coco. Girl,
how do you say it?
okay, that's it. You should go to Mexico or Puerto Rico soon. You got this.
I'd be brave,
Cream of coconut and sweetened condensed milk. It doesn't matter what brand you actually use. The most important, the main character here is the white rum. To be honest with you, and we love us some white rum. Let me tell you, we love rum in general. So let's go ahead and jump into this.
And a
So-
blender, of course.
Yes, in a
too.
blender, of course. So we've got the evaporated
So
milk.
the whole can.
The whole can. The whole can.
Okay.
It's very simple. All right.
And what makes this even easier is you're not really having to measure it out because you're just going by the cans,
No,
right?
the
Love
only
that.
thing, if you'd like, you can measure the alcohol, But that's not how I live my life.
Who does that?
I mean, you already showed up with half a bottle of empty. So
That's just not how I live my life. So you do.
Matt's
this
middle
one.
name is Open Bar. I don't know.
Is it real? I didn't know that. So this one you just have to scoop it out of it, you know.
Ooh, boy.
But let me tell you, there's a lot of calories here, but I tell you, it's
the
worth
holidays.
it.
You know, the
does-
scientists have said during the holidays,
Yeah.
there's no such thing as calories.
That's what
Right.
January's for.
And the thing is, you know, as you've seen all of these ingredients, it's so sweet. You start drinking, you go, I need another glass and another glass, and next thing you know, you can't get up from the sofa.
So, you know,
But that's
your
but
dad's
that's how
falling
lucky.
into the Christmas tree.
Oh wait, the rum, the most
yeah,
important
I was
one.
gonna
Hold
say,
on,
did
hold
you
on,
put the
hold
rum
on.
in?
No. Look, Andrea's like, yo, one more thing.
I didn't know if you put that
the
in
rum.
first
Hey,
and then
really
poured
quick.
that.
Normally you can put in like a cup and a half, but I'm gonna go with 2. I'm daring today. Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna go with 2. If
We're
they
trusting you, Jess. We're
if
trusting you.
they are in the same clothes for tomorrow's show, then you understand
Which would I would love to.
what happened. So then you have to blend them all. Now you have the option. You can add some cinnamon. Are you guys a fan of cinnamon?
Cinnamon's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
indifferent.
Because
to
some
it.
people don't like it with cinnamon. So before I go in there,
You can always put it on the top. though.
Yeah.
yeah, we can. Okay, we'll
do
do
that.
that just to be safe. But the most important character, what is it?
The
Erron.
rum.
Erron. All right. Now you have to really blend it because sometimes this. Hold on. Here
They
we
do this to us. This mixer, I'm telling you right here. I think you got to press one of these things.
are. All right. We'll get it.
Can we get a
if
Chef
not-
Yvonne
We
out here?
We need a mixer.
Here we go. There we go. All right.
It's very important to blend it because of all the ingredients. You know what I mean? Don't add ice. I've seen people add ice and like.
Because then
I
they got
would've. Yeah, I would have added ice.
You have to chill it for a little while. All right, here we
We
go.
have about a minute left.
Okay, let's
that
go
good
ahead and
enough?
serve. Yeah. You have to leave it chilled for, but yeah, I'm gonna let you do that because of my nails. I can't. I
there
really
you go.
can't.
Good job, Mitch.
Actually, I'm getting new nails for Christmas.
You are Christmas
New
themed.
press-ons?
All right,
Leaf
so
press-ons,
you would
yes.
you would have to chill it in the fridge for a little
Okay.
bit, but even then, it is very good. All right,
There's
if you
Maddie's.
want to throw some cinnamon on
Thank
it, a
you.
little bit, just a
Sure, I'll throw a
dash
little bit.
of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, now, of course, we'll put this video, of course, on our website at dailyflashshow.com, but really
Yes.
very simple, very easy
Go
to
ahead
put
and hand it
together.
over
There you
to.
go.
I'll do a
It's
little-
very simple.
great recipe,
you know,
Jess.
and you can impress your friends with it. It's so much fun. I tell you, I love giving it to my friends during Christmas time.
Cheers,
Depend-
everybody.
Yes.
Merry
cheers.
Christmas.
Merry
Yes,
Christmas.
yes,
Coquitos.
guys.
for everybody.
Coquitos.
We have more Daily Flash coming back. We don't know if we'll be here, but we'll have more Flash. Of course, you can check out Jessica on Daily Flash Latino. Go to dailyflashlatino.com for local listings. Yeah, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. It is Christmas, and right now, people all across the world are doing one thing. Can you guess what it is? It's watching Daily Flash, of course. But outside of watching us, many of you are actually throwing a holiday get-together for friends and families, and we're going to make sure that you avoid some of the most common mistakes a little bit later on today. First one, how about leaving too much until the last minute? This is actually a big one. If you leave too much for the last minute, it's going to put an enormous amount of stress upon you because of the fact that you're going to try to get everything done at the last minute. Don't do it. You know, that leads you into the next tip for us about not overextending yourself. It's a huge problem. If you've taken on too much for the holidays, you can pretty much burn yourself out really, really easily, so you don't want to do that. And the best part, holidays are about giving, so ask for help. It's okay. A lot of us are guilty of this. If you want to take it all without any help, you might miss out on the special moments that actually make the day great, and memories as well. Trying out new things too. You know, this is not the time for new recipes.
No.
Stick with what you know. Leave Grandma's potato salad recipe, you know, the one with the raisins, in the back of the cupboard.
Absolutely.
Leave it alone. Finally, forgetting to savor the moment. Don't forget that the focus should actually be spent with the family and friends. So just take the time and go, you know what, my kids are, I'm only gonna have this moment once in your entire life. So make the most out of it.
Can I throw one more thing in
Sure,
there too?
yeah.
Put the phone down.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
And just have a conversation and enjoy it without having to record everything. I mean, obviously pictures and video are fun and we all want to have them, but I think there's a certain connection that people miss.
Well, they do. They say clinically, when you have a phone in your hand, you're telling the other person this thing's
not
more
interested.
important. You're not interested, but this is more important than you are. I'd rather have this in my hand than the attention with you. So keep that in mind.
Well, nobody wants to spend the holidays fighting a cold or the flu, so how can you protect yourself and your children from getting sick? Here's Dr. Donald Karcher with more.
There is an increase in respiratory infections both in the U.S. and in other countries. But this is not surprising. This is typical for this time of year. These diseases always increase in the fall and winter months. I checked some numbers from the CDC, and less than 40% of adults and children have gotten the flu vaccine so far this season, which is below what we've seen in the last few years. Also, less than 20% have gotten the new updated COVID vaccine. Even among adults aged over 65, less than 50% of those folks have gotten the new updated COVID vaccine. Home testing, it's great, it's convenient, but if you keep getting negative results and you're infected and you're concerned about that infection, it's time then maybe to consider getting a test run in a clinical laboratory. Those tests are more sensitive and maybe allow in diagnosis of an infection earlier than the at-home tests. I recommend you go to newsroom.cap.org.
Some of the best gifts are the ones for our home. Lifestyle expert Kelly Edwards highlights her favorite top design trends.
So let's first start with the perfect photo partner for the smartphone. That is the Kodak Step Instant Mobile Photo Printer. Now, this is amazing because it seamlessly prints wallet-sized sticky back photos in under 60 seconds. So all those memorable moments that are captured on your cell phone can now be personalized and enhanced before printing through the Kodak Prints app. Now, once edited, the photos can be shared seamlessly to social networks through the app or printed, bringing your image to life. You can go to Amazon.com. Now, if you are a coffee lover like me, the AeroPress is like a French press, but better. And the reason why, it's the only press that uses a patented 3-in-1 technology, combining the best of several methods into one portable device. Now, it has delicious flavor, no bitterness or grittiness like other presses. Thousands of recipes can be made, 55,000 5-star reviews, and it's available in over 60 countries. This is a perfect gift for the coffee lovers, aeropress.com. Now, if you need a gift or you want to elevate your bar cart, I have 2 great options for you from Tequila Herradura. The first one being their Legend. Now, this is a first of its kind añejo tequila made to celebrate life's extraordinary moments. Carefully crafted to impress tequila enthusiasts and whiskey lovers alike. It has toasted oak and caramel notes, which I love. It's an ultra premium tequila, makes a perfect gift, and it has gorgeous packaging, so it'll look fantastic on your bar cart. This is a sipping tequila. You want to serve this on the rocks or neat. Now, if you're looking for a mixer, you can use their Ultra. Now, this is their Añejo Cristalino. This is amazing for tequila drinkers and newcomers that want that authentic yet unexpected drinking experience. What they do is they take their añejos, filter them, remove the color, and enhance the smoothness. Ultimate, you're getting a rich, crystal clear tequila with an ultra smooth expression. Perfect for those holiday cocktails. You can go to herradura.com or you can go to my Instagram, Kelly Edwards Inc., and I'll have everything there.
All right, cyber threats have become more difficult for the everyday consumer to spot. That's why it's so important to be aware of the latest scams. Here's what you need to know.
During this holiday season, bad guys are going to be trying to scam you, steal your identity, and do everything they can to get money out of you. The best things that consumers can do is making sure that their software is up to date. Update your computer, update your phone. Make sure that if you're using a credit card online, you use a service like Apple Pay, Google Pay, or Samsung Pay. And if you are going to work with vendors, make sure you're using larger, more reputable vendors for those purchases. From a business perspective, it's very important that you have security technology deployed and you also are protecting your brand. You don't want to see your logo or your name show up next to a scam. When it comes to things that you should know, another great place to go is cisco.com/go/security. That has all the information about our products, our links to our year in review report, which highlights the threats that we at Cisco Talos have been able to identify in our research related to threats on the internet.
More Daily Flash headed your way, but first, here's Disney's Dickens Kaylors taking us to break with a holiday classic.
Here they come with a happy song. Here they come, let's all sing along. Oh, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride a one-horse open sleigh. Hey! Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Ha ha, hee hee ho ho, bells on bobtail ring. making spirits bright. What fun it is to laugh and sing a sleighing song tonight. Jingle, 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 jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey! Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. It's time for our Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, where we like to talk about celebrity real estate.
So, since it's Christmas, we found the ultimate celeb holiday house on Zillow. Welcome to Santa's house. It's a magical North Pole retreat nestled on 25 acres. This one-of-a-kind home offers a glimpse into the enchanting life of Santa and Mrs. Claus. Inside these log cabin walls, you'll discover a cozy storybook design brimming with warmth and charm.
Now, the open concept living room features a big, beautiful fireplace. You can see all the stockings hung by the chimney with care. The kitchen is perfect for whipping up batches of gingerbread cookies and brewing up some hot, delicious hot cocoa. Upstairs, you'll find Santa's mailroom and his office. It's a secluded space for letter reading, route planning, and researching who's been naughty and nice.
The master bedroom is the perfect spot to drift away to dreamland. It has its own fireplace, an attached bathroom, and a guest bedroom has been converted into a gift wrapping room for items that need extra care.
And as you venture outside, there's a nearby reindeer stable as well as a toy workshop. There's also a detached garage big enough to hold a giant sleigh. Now, the home, built back in 1822, also features plenty of parking for snowmobiles, sleds, and a team of reindeer.
This 2-bed, 2-bath, 2,100 square foot home is valued on Zillow for around $1.7 million.
Wow.
Want to see it for yourself? Head to Zillow.com and search for Santa's house.
You could check it out there. I don't know if he's got it up for sale, but at least it's on Zillow, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I always wondered if Santa would have a hot tub out back or something.
He's got to.
I mean, you gotta relax sometimes.
December 26th, you got to have some fun,
He's
right?
done for the week.
Think about the time he spends in that sleigh. You know, you've been in a car for more than 7 hours. Your body starts to feel a little bit sore. So I think the hot tub is definitely a requirement for Santa.
I would imagine too, and that it would be like also a nice little mini bar over there too.
Oh, yeah.
with
Yeah.
his cookies, all the cookies that he ate, but also a lot of like Pepto-Bismol, because you think about how many cookies you got to eat at everybody's house, and the milk as well.
Couple billion trays of cookies,
Yeah.
and you have to eat them. I mean, you can't just leave them.
No, not at all. So hopefully Santa Claus came by your house last night. We definitely appreciate you coming by our show, of course.
We do. From all of us, thank you for spending time with us, and Merry Christmas to you and your family.
All right, y'all be good. We'll see you when we look at you. You can check out our website to find these stories and more, dailyflashshow.com. Everybody, wherever you're at,
Everybody
say
working
Merry
hard for
Christmas,
Christmas.
Happy Holidays. Remember, this is the time of year that we're all together to say thanks, so we appreciate it. We got more Flash tomorrow. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.